The Guerrilla War. The Guerrilla War started in 1966. I was mired in a difficult marriage, and I had two sons, aged 4 and 5. I decided that in order to deal with my marital problems, I needed to spend more time with my family. A lot more time. As in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If all the other primates had that privilege, I should also have that privilege. I just wanted as many rights as gorillas and chimpanzees. That's why I call it the Guerrilla War. I saw that the government had essentially nationalized women and children. And I wanted to keep that from continuing with my own family. My 4 years in the Air Force had opened my eyes to what the state was really all about. Since both my grandparents were farmers, and both lived 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with their spouses, it seemed quite natural to me that I should have the right to do the same. Of course, that set me at odds with the establishment. The establishment had plans for me to remain a wage slave for the rest of my life. I was 27 years old in 1966, and I'd been working as an electronic technician. I came up with a way to create an electronic musical instrument that had perfect just intonation tuning. I built a prototype on the kitchen table of my apartment. I planned on promoting that invention as a means of making a living while I was working on my marital problems. In order to make the musical instrument work, I invented a thing called the resettable counter. It didn't seem that important at the time because I was focused on the music. But it turned out to be a significant part of the value of the work I did in 1966. At the repeated suggestion of a friend, I took my drawings and write-up to the Fender Guitar Company, which had just been bought by CBS. The engineer there, Ron Peckham, told me that what they would do was use my invention with some minor change, and there would be nothing I could do about it. My last job before my 16 years off the grid was as an electronic technician for General Electric. A few years later, General Electric patented a presettable counter, which is a very minor change on my resettable counter. You probably own at least 10 of these things as we speak. They are in computers, toasters, cell phones, cars, clocks, almost anything electronic. I'm guessing that total royalty income to GE from this invention was at least several $100 million. As Ron Peckham had predicted, I got none of that income. But I still think the musical part of my invention is much more significant than the counter. Eventually, my first wife filed for divorce, and I agreed. It was time. Later, I married Alfie. We have been together for 36 years now. We spend all of our time with each other, and we are very, very happy with the arrangement. But despite decades of struggle, I still have not been able to get the musical establishment to see the benefits of my style of musical innovation. The background music for this narration is, of course, one of my compositions. The guerrilla war started in 1966. It's still going in 2015. That's 49 years. There have been many twists and turns, and I hope to be able to record as many of them as possible in this format. Recently, I listened to a remarkable 2-hour interview with Catherine Austin Fitts. Her topic was the UFO economy. Sort of as an aside, she said something that got my attention. She was talking about her experience with entrainment technology. She reported experiencing it at a political event. I had never heard of entrainment in the way that she used the term, but as she talked about its effects, it occurred to me that it could be an application of my music technology applied to subsonic and supersonic audio signals. I Googled entrainment and found nothing to contradict that view, but also nothing to support it. Entrainment is definitely about audio signals, but I didn't see anything in my brief perusal of the article about juiced intonation tuning. It's just a guess on my part that entrainment uses juiced intonation tuning. Then it struck me that governmental interest in entrainment could explain why it has been so difficult for me to get traction in the music industry. If the government is using the technology for subliminal mind control, then they wouldn't want me using the same technology to promote truth and freedom. Of course, they wouldn't want me to use any technology to promote truth and freedom. But they might be especially sensitive about this technique because it's effective. It's a small probability, but it might be a question worth considering. I've had reports from other musicians interested in juiced intonation tuning that there seems to be an almost organized effort to repress their work. But I don't think it makes any practical difference whether I am being suppressed because I'm too effective or there is some other reason for my lack of musical traction. In either case, I can't expect much, if any, practical benefit from my efforts. But I find that working with juiced intonation tunings causes some very pleasant physiological sensations for me, especially when I am singing or speaking with a juiced intonation background. There is some minute chance that my work will eventually pay off for me, and a much greater chance that it will finally benefit the society at large. Given enough time, even the most minute probability gets expressed as a real event. It may take a long time, but freedom works. Always and for everyone. Slavery sucks.